Now we have a special guest on the show that is doing an event, Ohio Fashion Week. Now, listeners of the show, you know we love this kind of stuff.
Yes, we do.
So we've
been to a couple, haven't we?
Yes, we have. So
Yes.
we're very excited to have her here. She is also the creator of Hot Ohio magazine. Did I pronounce that correctly? Close enough. Jackie Bertolette, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I am great. Thank you. How about yourself?
Good. So tell us a little bit about the magazine, first of all, your background and what made you decide to go into that.
So years ago, I started in commercial photography in my first degree and went right into photography for music. And several of the bands along the way noticed some of my clothes that I had been making and requested that I make them clothes. So I sort of was born into fashion design at that point. So the two of them kind of came together, and that's where my direction went. So I moved away from music and into fashion.
Nice.
Lavish.
Nice. So, so you started off with the music aspect, and then you went into the whole fashion. So then, what made you decide to create a magazine for the Midwest of Ohio?
Well, there is a huge amount of talent in the Midwest that the world is not aware of. Mm-hmm. And even a lot of the talent doesn't even express that they're from the area, even though they may be. They'll say we're from New York now, but, originally here. And the talent is really world class. And I felt like it was a needed niche. People needed to know that we were here and that we could be great again, like we were when the textiles were our biggest industry.
Yeah, nice.
So talk a little bit more about that. Is it something, do you find that we have the talent, but is there just not platforms for the talent, or is a lot of the talent that have made it, or they're not really participating in the local industry or giving back? Like what are the difficulties that you see that you're trying to help people navigate through?
Well, I feel like there is a significant amount of lack of platform. The industry is not really self-sustaining in the Midwest right now, which is part of what we're trying to change. There's humongous designers here with talent that's amazing, but if people don't buy their clothes, then we've lost them. And part of the designers includes the models and the photographers, so they all, like any industry, need each other to survive. So we really need to begin to uplift each other and buy small, buy from the local designers so that all the rest of us get to work.
Absolutely. So when did you start the magazine, and talk about the process, what it was like, what it took to put the magazine together, the things that you went through when you were getting it all together and stuff like that?
So the first magazine came out in the fall of last year. This Ohio Fashion Week Gala will actually be our first anniversary. So
congratulations.
Thank you. So the interesting thing about the magazine was sort of a culmination of everything that I am best at, and I couldn't find work that was sustaining, and I thought it's time to make a platform. So my husband was wonderful and supportive, and I sat down and figured out how I was going to make this magazine. I do have a background in graphic design as well, so I handle the graphic design. I'm pretty good at talking to people, and I have a lot of people who really believe in what I'm doing, so people have come on board to help me. And I think the hardest part was in the beginning, before there was an actual product magazine, getting people to know and believe what my vision was. It was hard to get people on board. So the people who were on board the first time, who kind of was like, okay, well, it's a Hail Mary, those people are being rewarded as we move forward.
It reminds me a lot of us, how you just said that, because he came to us with a vision, and nobody sees your vision well but you. So it takes the right kind of people to support your vision, and that's good that you had those kind of people in your corner. What made you come up with the name of the magazine?
Actually, the name is, it's a French word for high fashion.
Okay.
Haute couture is what walks the runway in Paris. and it's the highest level of fashion in the industry. So haute is actually the high part of high fashion, and so it's high Ohio.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it looks really amazing.
It is amazing.
The magazine is awesome.
The quality is just immaculate.
It's incredible. So, are you taking most of the pictures? Do you work with other photographers? Like, how does that work?
I have, what we do is we hold what we call a capture couture event. We take submissions from local Midwestern professionals, from models to stylists to HMUAs and designers, photographers, and anybody else, even textile designers we've worked with. We then review them and select the best of that crop, and we come together and have a mass photo shoot. And so everybody gets to meet each other. Some people know each other, and some people never met each other. And it's a wonderful networking tool, and yet we still get to create the wonderful fashion that ends up in the magazine.
Absolutely. So tell us about Ohio Fashion Week. Let's talk about the event. Tell us a little bit about it.
So Ohio Fashion Week is another one of my visions.
Sounds like you got some good visions.
Yeah. I have a lot of visions.
I like it.
Right.
So originally, we threw a gala last year when we first launched the magazine, and it was really a massive challenge for me. That's one thing I have never done, is produced a fashion show. So it was quite a feat for myself and many of the people, including people who are close to me who have never done this before. Right. So the initial plan was that was just going to be a launch, and that was that. But we had such a massive reaction about it that people wanted us to continue to do this on a regular basis. So we figured that if we're going to put all the effort into staging a gala every year, we should use that as a catalyst to uplift other people in the industry, which is really our mission statement. So if we're doing that in the magazine, we should be doing that with the runway as well. So we've partnered with multiple events around the state of Ohio to be a collective agenda, and there are 7 events, 2 of which are in Columbus, staged by Alternative Fashion Mob. Then there's ours, which is the Upper Echelon Runway, and it is the Black Tie Gala, which is the flagship event for Ohio Fashion Week. And then we have a week-long event schedule with Micah Stevens Fashion Week in Akron. So it's more like a month-long fashion week, but it includes multiple productions from all over the state of Ohio.
That's really cool. That sounds really cool. So on your event in particular, for people who are interested, but they've never been to one, like, what can they expect? What will they see when they go to your event?
So our event might be a little bit different than your typical runway, although I think a lot of people in the Midwest have not seen a typical runway, so they don't know that it's not typical. We have a lot. Again, our goal is to uplift other professionals. So we've had a lot of people contact us to be participants, even though they aren't in fashion necessarily. So we have 11 designers booked right now to show. They're from all over the Midwest, from Indiana to Cincinnati to Cleveland. We even have Javon Tarrant showing, who's an international designer, and we also have Closet Slayer, who's showing in our main event, and Grunge Beauty Couture, which is one of the most interesting and successful high fashion brands in the Midwest.
Oh, wow.
We also have multiple snippets of entertainment happening. We have a international model, the plus-size model from LA coming in. She's going to be doing a keynote speech.
Awesome.
Her name is Ilana Bryan, and she will be talking about what it's like to be a plus-size model in the industry and body positivity. And then we have Igo Maserati coming in. He's an international runway coach. We have Rebecca Jo Karen Dunham, who is an international high fashion model. She has walked the runways for Carolina Herrera. She has been in Elle. She has been in Vogue China. And she's coming down to participate with us. She also is launching an agency called Agency FH. So she's always searching for new faces. So then we have a jazz singer who's coming in to do a little bit of a set.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
And then we have guitarist, a solo guitarist who's kind of a folk artist. She'll do a set. And the best thing, I think, for me is going to be the inspirational dance troupe, which is going to do a hip-hop set.
Nice.
Awesome.
Nice.
So there's a lot of good things going on here. Now, where can people get their tickets?
Well, you can get them online at hauteohio.com. That's HAUTEOHIO.com or eventbrite.com. Look up the Upper Echelon Runway.
And I just want to ask one more question. What advice would you give to these inspiring models or girls who want to create magazines or create runway shows? What advice would you give to them?
My first advice would be seek out somebody who can tell you what the real world is like. To intern, to shadow, to follow, to call and ask questions. We have young models call all the time. We also train and coach through the magazine, so we teach quite a few youngsters how to move forward and what they really can expect from the industry. And the second thing I would say is to look into education. You know, if you want to be in a design, you need to start at Kent State or at Virginia Marty or one of the other Ursuline programs. There's many programs. And by the way, Ohio happens to hold the number 3 fashion week in the country in Columbus Fashion Week.
Oh, nice.
And we hold the number 3 and 4 position for the most desirable design programs, and that's at Kent State for both merchandising and design. So
awesome.
Ohio has a huge impact on the industry, and people don't know that. So we're trying to change that.
Sounds like we got it going on in the fashion world.
Yeah,
exactly. Absolutely.
So I'm the goofy one of the show. So I have a question that I'm going to ask you about. Fashion is something that we are between our show and one of the other shows. What are your thoughts on men wearing open-toed sandals?
With socks.
No. There was going to be a two-part question. First of all, first open-toed sandals. Then the second part would be, then how do you feel with them with open-toed sandals with socks?
So my first reaction would be, where are they going? If they're going to school, no, probably not. But if they're going to an avant-garde fashion show, it could fit right in.
There we go.
All right.
Now, what are your feelings with wearing socks with open-toed sandals?
I can't think of any time that's smooth.
Now, let me go in the other room and take my socks off.
All right. Let everybody know if they want to subscribe to the magazine, where they can do that, your social media for the magazine, all that good stuff.
Okay, great. So our website is hauteohio.com, HAUTEOHIO.com. You can subscribe through there. We are mostly online, so we're a digital download, but we absolutely can do print, and you can do that shipped right to your home. So you can do it through there. We are on Facebook, both as Haute Ohio and as Ohio Fashion Week. We are on Instagram through Ohio, OHFW_official. And we also are under my fashion line, RJ Luna Designs, on Instagram.
Awesome.
Nice.
Thank you so much, Miss Jackie Bertolette, for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.